Hello. An intro to most of my instructional videos here is going to be just some basic things to keep in mind. One, I record and I record my videos and post them to YouTube so you can use closed captioning. I know I tend to talk a little fast, so hopefully this will help. You can see down at the bottom of the screen here what you can see in English what I'm saying. The other thing you can do with closed captioning is if you want to see it in another language, let's say you can read Ukrainian or you can read Spanish or Filipino. Oftentimes YouTube will allow you to do closed captioning in another language, so that can be helpful there. That's a resource there. The other thing as you're watching these is pause. Don't be afraid to pause the video. Write down what you're doing or write down your question and then restart it again. That's something that's a little bit different than in class because I know I do tend to talk fast. All right, as you're watching these videos, I want you to break it into 3 parts. Part number 1 is to watch that video all the way through, get an idea of where you're going. What are the expectations? What is it you're going to be doing? If possible, what's the end product? What's the end result you're putting there? What is it you need to have done? Second is to put together a notes, and that's where you're taking these on paper and pencil. I know a lot of you like to take notes digitally or want to take notes digitally. It's not the same. I really encourage you do it as your handwriting. It helps with making that connection between the brain and what's going on. And as you're taking notes, take notes on things instructions that I give you. Write out those instructions. If I give you hints or tips, write those down. If there's important measurement information or details, write those down. Also, questions, write down your questions. Words you don't understand, directions that don't make sense, things I don't demonstrate. Those are great. Write those off I would encourage you, write those off to the side in the margin. And then the next step, third time you watch the video, is go back, watch for things, do I answer the questions you have? Look for the answers to those questions. Because any questions that are left afterwards, that's when you can email me at my email address that hopefully will pop up here if I do it right. Or you can save them for when we're in class. All right, so hopefully these tips and instructions are going to be helpful, and I look forward to helping and supporting you. So let's go ahead and get started. And as I always say, let's go forth and do some great things. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever or whenever you may be watching this. So this is going to be our week 7 of CoderZ, and we're going to be getting into the Milky Way set of lessons. For this first video, for the review, I want to review pseudocode and the parts of pseudocode. So here you've got, this is one for coming back to Sketch It, where I was sketching my initials. It's very helpful when you're doing pseudocode as a reminder to title your pseudocode or tell me what it is. I've had a few of you that have turned in your pseudocode and it looks beautiful, but it's kind of hard for me to figure out what it is if you don't title it. So here you can see I put a J and a G for what the pseudocode should be. And so remember, start with tail down or tail draw down. That's what you want the robot to do. And then robot move forward 6 meters, stop tail draw, robot backward. So again, it's just a kind of a combination of English and robot speak of what you want the robot to do. Okay. Along with that, so you can see there's my ice cream code. And it's also good, I like that I've seen a lot of you have been saying, let's say you put in robot turn 90 degrees, and you've been putting in done your strike throughs, or you've told me, let's see here, I don't remember what the strike throughs were. I'll just highlight that in maroon there and say, okay, that one wasn't right. So then I'm going to say maybe turn off the highlighter and then go 70 degrees. Okay. And kind of highlighting or crossing out what you've done wrong. That is important because it'll tell you what you've already looked at and seen. The strike through works really well. For those of you who want to know what the strike through is, Alt Shift 5. So there we go, Alt Shift 5. So I'm going to go Alt Shift 5, turn it off, and then let's say 85 degrees. Okay, that's very helpful for me and for you to see what you've already done. Okay. Now I know pseudocode can become kind of tedious, and you're going to be the biggest mistake that people make is they become tempted to write their code, figure out what it is correct, and then go back and write their pseudocode. That is not a good practice to get into. It doesn't matter if your pseudocode is perfect. In fact, I love seeing the errors or the changes that you've made. It's also how it gives me an idea of how you think, what you're trying to do, and it also is a good way for you to keep track of what you've already tried, so you're not just doing trial and error and banging your head against the wall. So that's the review. The other thing that I would make sure you've got is measuring of angles and what a radii is, those kind of things. All right, so in the next part, I'm going to jump into just kind of showing you a walkthrough of how to do pseudocode with the one of the missions. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next part. Hello, welcome to the next part. All right, so here I want to talk about efficiency. And this is, I believe, number 4. And you see I have two different types of code here, both of which are correct and will accomplish the mission, but one will do it within the 10-second timer, and the other one will not. So this is where efficiency, the shorter your code, the better it may be. So for example, this is an example of how people will go about and look at this and go, oh my gosh, doing a radius and an angle is too much, or it's too hard, or I don't understand it. And so they're just going to go turn 90 to the left, go forward, turn 90 to the right, go forward, I'm done. They think, oh, that's totally efficient. Let's watch. Okay, there it goes. And there goes my robot. And you're seeing, yeah, it's going, and it's having to go through and it's having to translate that code, and you'll see, oh, nope, didn't do it. Okay, versus the next one where I'm going to let's try that one and see what happens. Let's go, and I'm actually going to try this and say, okay, what I did is I looked and I said, yeah, that's a 90-degree turn. What's the radii? Okay, so I've got to, oh, let me go back here. That's a distance. What's the radii that I got to go? Radii is 6. Okay, so I'll try it out and we'll run it and we'll see how it works. Okay, there it goes. It's going, it's going, it's going. About halfway there, a little over halfway there, and we made it with 2 seconds left to spare. Okay, so efficient code is helpful. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to use pseudocode to work with efficiency and kind of do some troubleshooting. So that'll be the next part. All right, welcome to the next part. All right, so now this one, we've got a lot of twists and turns here, and we want to make sure that we're doing efficient code. But more importantly, we want to plan this ahead of game here. So we're looking at here, and oh, we could throw in some smooth turns. We could do some 90s. We want to note that we got a 20-second timer. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of split screen this and say, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. So I want to plan this out before I start to run it. Okay, so I'm going to start, and I'm going to go through and just start with my first, kind of start measuring things out here and saying, okay, so the first thing I got is, looks like I got about a 1 point, maybe I got to go forward 1, and so, okay, so let's row this in. I'm going to speed things up so you can watch me write out my plan, how I'm going to attack this, and hopefully keep this part of the video rather short. So I'm going to speed things up. Okay, I'm going to jump back in here. And so here is my plan. Okay, so I'm going to have the robot go forward, do all of that. And we'll see, it gives me a starting point before I get started. Now I've got to do it under 20 seconds. Yes. One thing that I am going to show you how to do is a good troubleshooting strategy that you can use. It's going to be kind of hard to use it with the 20-second timer, but it is something you can use when you're not under a time crunch. And I'll show you that in the next part. I'm not actually going to do the mission for you, but you can see this might be a good start, or that's the plan. Okay, so in the next part, I'll show you how to do some troubleshooting of things. All right, welcome to the next part. So this is going to be short and sweet. You're going to see here I've got my program written out, and I want to show you just a really simple troubleshooting strategy. This is, what some people like to do. It's going to be hard to do this for a little bit with a timer, but you can make it work. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this here, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to look, and that looks good, and turn, and that looks good, and then it starts to looking good, and oh my gosh, I went too far there. I'm going to zoom that out a little bit. Okay, so I know that I got to this point. No, I hit the wrong one. Okay, let me go back to previous activity. I'm sorry about that. All right, so I know that I got to this point. Okay, so one of the tricks you can use is breaking your program down into smaller sections and saying, okay, I don't know if that's correct or not, but I know that when I get to here, that is a problem. So, and I noticed it went way up here. It went way too far. So maybe I want to change the angle, or maybe I want to change the radius. Maybe the radius needs to be smaller, or the angle needs to be smaller. But that way I know this right here, this part right here works. This is referred to as commenting out your code. When you're writing code, and let's see, I'm going to show code, and you can see that right here, it's there, this isn't it. You can add in you can put in some comment parts, put in some comment marks to turn this part into comments so that it won't run. So this is a good troubleshooting strategy. So I wish you luck on the rest of these. I would recommend that you go out and try to pseudocode this out first, and then go back and make your adjustments as you're going through, and try to be as efficient as possible. I'm going to tell you right now, this long bit of code is way too long. So a little hint there, you're going to want probably half, maybe a little over half these number of blocks. And I would focus on trying to figure out how to do some smooth terms in there as well. All right, good luck. Let me know how I can help, and go forth and do great things.